Here's what's coming into view on Elevating Denver for June 2024. Cheer Colorado makes a positive impact.
We try to just bring a little bit of spirit and sunshine everywhere we go.
Drones help the Denver Fire Department.
Drone is just another set of eyes, is the best way to say it.
And play is the thing at the Bug Theater.
The live experience of theater is really important.
I'm so excited!
These stories and more are just ahead on Elevating Denver.
Dance didn't come natural to me. I never really had much of a commitment to be like, I will be a dancer. Dance went from being more of a hobby to being something that I needed in order to feel good and to be able to express myself wholly. I'm Zania McKenna, and I first started dancing here when I was 2 years old. As a child, dancing was just my hobby that I did after school. And into COVID, I realized how much I loved dance and how much I needed it in my life after being withdrawn from it. So coming back into it, I've noticed that it's really part of my life and part of really who I am and who I want to become.
Cleo Parker Robinson Dance is an institution of healing and arts. It has been around for 54 years. We are a stable in our community down in what is currently known as the Five Points District. I believe that the mission of Cleo Parker Robinson Dance is first off for healing and expression of artists and people. Art is a very healing aspect of life.
I feel like dance is that vessel where you could be mad at the world. I know I've had many a moments where I've come into the studio mad at the world, but I would turn on the music and for some reason, somehow, some way, I forgot why I was mad.
One of the big things that we learn here is peace, love, and respect for everybody. So that's a phrase that we repeat almost after every single show, and we have peace, love, respect for everybody. And that, just growing up, sometimes I thought it was cheesy, but it's truly ingrained in my nature now. And that is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned from Cleo Parker Robinson Dance, and one of the biggest lessons that she loves to preach.
Five Points was a place in which a lot of artists actually came to and provided their talent. But back when that happened, it was also a segregated part of town. It looks quite different than it did before. Cleo started the company as a place of expression, not only for herself, but for dancers who wanted to be professional. Cleo Parker Robinson Dance has always been a fully inclusive organization of individuals.
I think a big part of the reason that my parents brought here is that they wanted me to be open to all cultures, all people, all backgrounds. So being in this space from a young age, I was really exposed to all types of people, all types of cultures, all types of backgrounds, all types of ages, all dancing together. So that was probably the biggest impact that it had on me. So from a young age, I was really taught equity and inclusion of all people and how we can all find a common ground.
It just exposes you not only to diversity of race and backgrounds, but it also exposes you to the fact that like, oh, there's a certain way that she would dance versus there's a certain way he would dance. And it's not toleration, it's more embracing.
Cleo Parker Robinson Dance is a wealth of information for many people. I think that it provides training for people to really think about the artists that they would love to become.
Being able to push through and to have known that I used to be like the shy kid in the back of the class who would run away when asked to perform a piece or something like that, to this year being able to perform with the second company, it's really shown me that I can do a lot more than I think I can.
We have an incredible school of dance. I was a student at Cleo Parker Robinson Dance, and I enjoyed so much being here that it kind of spun my life into a career of dance.
There's no place like it. There's really no other dance studio that has the same excellence and the same inclusiveness that the Cleo Parker Robinson Dance Academy and Ensemble provides. This past week, actually, I graduated from East High School, and I am now going on to Point Park University in Pittsburgh, which is a full university in Pittsburgh, but they have a really strong conservatory of performing arts. And so I auditioned to be in the BFA for dance, and I was accepted, which I'm very grateful for, and that's where I will be spending my next 4 years with a concentration in modern dance.
I believe the reason it is important for this institution to be right here in this place is because it is creating its own historical lineage as we move forward.
All right, Cheryl, none of this is your fault. Bug Theater means everything. It's extremely friendly to independent art.
Live theater, local independent film, stand-up comedy is big here.
You guys watch curling? Again, that cliche is not used in curling because curling is a game, not a sport.
And then we have a trivia night and a show called Nerd Night where it's sort of like a party TED Talks kind of thing. And then one of my favorite things that happens here is called Freak Train, where anybody can get on stage and do anything they want for 5 minutes. And it's $5 to get in and there's free beer.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.
My brother and his wife lived in the apartment across the street above the coffee shop, and they helped start the art galleries that were in the Navajo Street Art District throughout the years. And then one day in the early 90s, I guess it was, one of the doors was open and they peeked inside and they could not believe it was an old abandoned theater. They never knew what was in here. You look on the outside, it didn't say theater, it didn't say anything. They got some other people together and they fixed it up and opened the Bug Performance and Media Arts Center in 1994. We try to do stuff that you won't normally see other places. I mean, obviously, there's other places have an improv show or a show with local independent film, but we try to do like kind of weirder stuff, especially with our theater company that we didn't have for a while, and we're going to start back up soon.
Hallelujah! I'm so excited!
Without the Bug Theater, there are not a lot of venues we can frankly afford to perform at because we are improv. I love it. It's a way of life. It's so important to me, but it is a fringe art form. So I emailed Alex. I told him that we have an improv comedy troupe. He said we would love to have improv featured at the Bug. So it all took off from there, and we've been performing monthly here at the Bug for over 3 years now.
When we weren't doing a play, which generally runs for like 3 or 4 weeks, we would rent it out to other theater companies or people needing to show films or have a class or something like that. We're very accessible. We don't charge a lot of money to rent the place. We're a nonprofit organization, so all we need to do is this. They are responsible for the ticketing and working the box office because it's their money. They get to keep all the money made at the door, so it behooves them to get people in here. And then we'll help them get set up with the tech, and then we run the concession stand, and we keep all the money made there. And it works out for a lot of people.
Carol don't work no more, and she loves it.
We've been doing the same thing, give or take, for the entire time, and it's really worked out. We write a grant to the SCFD, and they help fund us, and then we get donations from citizens who support the arts. That's how we're still here, and nobody seems to be angry with our business model, and it seems to be working pretty good so far. I don't think any of our monthly shows are going away. They change, well, except for Freak Train, it does not change.
At Freak Train, it's an open mic for whatever. You can do whatever you want to do for your time on the stage. And I think that speaks to the freedom of what Bug is willing to put on stage. So I know it's been going on for years. People are very passionate about that show. It's a very popular show.
Everybody that was working here at the time were all theater nerds. We were trying to get more programming going. So we decided to start a show on the last Monday of every month because nobody does theater on Mondays, predominantly. The idea was borrowed from a show in Chicago. It was called, I think it was called Freak Engine. The thought was that people just get up and do something. So we created some rules around it, like, you know, don't hurt yourself, don't hurt the theater, and don't be a jerk. And the audience is always very nice to them. And we never know what's going to happen. We don't know who's going to sign up. And it's just a lot of fun to do. Then I'm the guy in the booth. I crowbar a lot of stupid sound effects and help the singers. I sweeten up the vocals. I mess with the lights. It's a lot of fun. And I get nervous before every show still.
This is why Chuck Bukowski has such a limited vocabulary.
The Bug has so many different shows for different people. It's one of those places that has something for everybody, for those who are curious for the entertainment that they offer. But also, if you are an artist and you're looking to showcase your art, if you want to put it out there, it's a great venue to contact. Because regardless of what type of show that you have, if you're really passionate about it, I'd say there's a good chance that you could produce it here at the Bug.
And we went to the great...
The live experience of theater, it's really important for us as a people to have that contact with other people. I have Netflix too, it's wonderful, and I could stay home and do that all the time, but going out and seeing something with your friends, you can't beat that.
We're going into the nasties of the nasties. We're going to things that people are running out of. My firefighters are going in.
When we first get there, we want to get a bird's eye view of the entire scene. Depending on what it is, it could be a swiftwater rescue. We might be looking for somebody in the lake or in a river. Or if it's a structure fire, we're going to get above the structure fire. And we're going to probably turn our cameras to infrared.
We send anywhere from 6 to 10 fire trucks on every fire in the city. Engines, the ones that carry the water and the hose, they're going to go in and actually put the fire out. Our truck companies, the one that have the ladders, they're going to go and do search and rescue. And then my job as the incident commander is to put all that chaos and bring order to it.
The incident commander, for the most part, he's either going to be in his vehicle or he'll be on the street somewhere, but he can't see half of what we're seeing from the air.
Drone is just another set of eyes, is the best way to say it with our drone program. And we really started seeing this, like we can use this on almost every incident. So like on fires, it's really important because we get that eye in the sky view. If I'm dealing with a building that's 3-4 stories tall or even a high rise, I'm limited of what my vision is. Being able to put up another piece that gives me a really big overall view is a huge piece of the drone program, and that's how we use it.
That's been about 3 years. Start of the program, we ended up getting our first drone. We bought our vehicle and we started responding to a few incidents. Found out pretty quickly that it was going to be a very useful tool in our arsenal for firefighting and search and rescue. We only had about 3 pilots to start that went out and got their Part 107 FAA pilot's license. And since then we've added another 7 pilots to our staff, and now we're able to operate pretty much 24/7 with the program. The biggest part of it is safety, keeping our firefighters safe. If there's anything that could be a hazard to a firefighter, we're going to see it, and our incident commander is going to see it as well.
So my job, the most important thing is I put 40 people typically at every fire in harm's way. So the men and women of the Denver Fire Department, they're running in as people are running out. And that's the most important piece of the incident commander, is to make sure that we're looking at this big picture view and that we're pulling our people out when it's appropriate or not putting them in harm's way when it's overly dangerous or more dangerous than what we want them to be in.
When we're dispatched to a scene, we set up as close to the incident commander as we can, and we get our drones in the air as quickly as we can. Basically, park the drone over the incident. From that point, we're just going to be directed by our incident commander. He'll tell us where he wants to have the drone and what he would like to see, whether it's going to be just a regular 4K video that we can display or infrared video.
One of the best pieces of drones, we get really good video. Obviously, it's 4K, it's the most high definition you can get. The drones, we can put them up in high winds, and it's amazing. The technology keeps that picture nice and still. But what's really amazing is they can flip a switch and they can turn on what we call FLIR, forward-looking infrared technology. So it's taking out, we're looking for heat signatures. So now I can take the building, instead of looking at it like we see it, and now we're looking at it for heat. So I can find out where my hot spots are. I can find out if there's hidden fire in places, or if we're looking for a victim in the water, we can find that difference in body temperature, and we can see things maybe a little further down in the water. And what's really cool about the drone program and the program we use to help, which is called Tablet Command, in our Chiefs vehicles, we're able to link that. So I don't even have to get out of my vehicle. I can take that mobile. So as our drone team shows up, they've got video cameras, they've got all these things in there, TV screens. We don't have to physically go over there and see those screens. They broadcast it to my iPad, and I literally have it in my hand.
We have a couple different ways of displaying video. We have our video is down to our controller, but we also stream our video to our vehicle on TV in our vehicle. We can also stream our video across the internet to a URL link, and we can give that to anyone who'd like to watch that's authorized to watch. Our command staff, our chief, our PIO officers, that sort of thing. Right now we've got 7 drones and 3 vehicles. We have a primary vehicle that's also a communications vehicle. We have 2 smaller vehicles that are basically our take-home vehicles for 2 of our pilots. We can respond with those vehicles 24/7 from wherever we are. All cities are pretty much getting on board with flying drones these days. We feel that we were pretty much ahead of the game when we started. We had some good people that figured out how to do this. We knew how we needed to operate, so we built this program from the ground up with our own staff.
They're amazing. They're all self-taught. They are all electronic guys, so they all are the guys that like to play with electronics and computers and different things, so it fits into their skill set. They're an amazing group, and these people are not 24-hour employees like we are. They are 5-day a week, 10-hour, 8-hour employees, and they are there at the drop of a hat if we need them. If it's the middle of the night, they get in their cars, they respond, and they'll be there.
This city has an amazing amount of talent when it comes to the jazz community, among other things.
Denver Arts and Venues works to uplift the arts in the city of Denver, and the 5 Points Jazz Festival is there to really support the neighborhood, but also to celebrate the history of jazz in the 5 Points neighborhood. There's a very, very long history of great jazz musicians coming to play in 5 Points, and we want to keep that history alive. I think it's important for the citizens of Denver to be able to enjoy the fruits of Denver, and part of that is the incredibly rich and fabulous jazz community in Denver. There are so many great jazz musicians in Denver. It would be a crime if we didn't let people come and hear these great musicians play. So I love that it's free. I love that we can invite the entire city to come and party with us and have a great time listening to jazz, and bring your kids and dance in front of the stage.
We're really excited to have over 4 stages and 30 bands that are playing the festival this year, all of them local. So being able to support local artists and provide them not only a place to play and highlighting them on outdoor stages, but also paying them for their work is really important.
I think that the way that Denver Arts and Venues has prioritized pay and treatment of these musicians is really setting a bar. It's saying that we get it, that music is valuable, your craft is valuable, the work that you have invested, the time, be it hours or years, is worthy of compensation and payment. And I consistently see Denver Arts and Venues setting that bar just a little higher almost every year, honestly.
Denver Arts and Venues has one side of the agency that's our venues, and that would be Red Rocks, the Coliseum, the McNichols Building, the Arts Complex. So we manage all these spaces, and then the money that comes in from what we're doing with these venues in turn supports cultural programs like the Five Points Jazz Festival, grants for artists and cultural organizations. We like to call it Good Times for Good. Come to our facilities, buy a beverage, pay for your parking, eat some food, and the money that you're spending when you're at the venue helps to make sure events like the Five Points Jazz Festival happen and that we are funding grants throughout the city for our artists.
I'm really excited about this year's lineup. I was looking at the schedule this morning and I realized that at 4 o'clock on all 4 stages, we have bands that are led by women. And you know, jazz can tend sometimes to feel like a very male art form. And so I'm super excited that we have 4 really, really great bands led by women.
Women in jazz in Colorado and Denver. We are definitely making a mark for ourselves. We support each other.
So you'll hear everything from straight ahead jazz to a bit of soul to some bebop to contemporary jazz. So we try to put in a really, really well-rounded program. We have a great committee that works really closely with us of community members to make sure that we're bringing that richness and diversity to the festival.
People should know that there are lots of ways to get to Jazz Fest. You can obviously drive your car, or you could take an Uber or a Lyft, ride your bike. There'll be bike parking available. It's one of the first festivals that happen every year, so it's wonderful to have people come out, spend time in Five Points, check out the food and the vendors and listen to music, and just really celebrate how great our local music scene is, specifically our jazz scene. And I really want people to see what Welton Street is today, to want to come back to Welton Street, to not just come one day for a jazz fest, but there's jazz music happening along Five Points all year long.
We're all a part of this jazz legacy, the old music, the new fans, the old fans. Bring your kids and tell a friend to tell a friend, and get down there and support Denver Arts and Venues and support all of these local musicians at the exact same time.
We're here to make a difference, and you're the reason why.
We always try to show up to things with a positive atmosphere. We want to capitalize on the joy and queer joy and what comes with that and all that we can do. So that is our goal, and we try to just bring a little bit of spirit and sunshine everywhere we go. Cheer Colorado is a volunteer adult cheerleading program. Our mission is to show up for positively impact and further strengthen the Colorado LGBTQIA+ community. It's really a world where all people are and feel safe, seen, and celebrated as their true, authentic selves.
It takes a lot of bravery to consider joining a team like ours. In addition to the bravery that people show when they walk in the door, we've seen other kinds of bravery from people here who are perhaps sharing aspects of their identity here for the first time that they've never felt safe enough to do before. The welcoming and inclusive vision that we have of the world really starts right here within our own organization.
I feel fulfilled making family. I have never felt a place that I can be as authentic as I am than I have it in this organization.
For everyone that ever wanted to be a cheerleader, wanted to think about doing this, there's so many people that never had the chance growing up to be part of a team or were too afraid to go and try out for a team that always wanted to. And so we're here to say at any age, you can show back up. We really build a family and a community that sustains us and makes us want to show up each week. We are also gender inclusive, sexuality inclusive, age inclusive. We went out of our way to make sure that people have uniform choices, even depending on what they want to wear and how they identify.
Every season we have a new set of volunteers, we have people with different capabilities, and so that really allows us to play around with different people's strengths. Since season 1, we've definitely grown in size, and then definitely how much we push our athletes has gotten a lot more advanced.
Turn it up, let it blast.
My first exposure to charitable cheerleading and teams like ours was with Cheer Seattle, that I was a part of during their first 3 years of existence. And then when it came time for me to move to Denver, Denver seems like it has all the makings of the city, and Colorado has all the makings of a state that would support a team like this. A really involved, engaged, committed community of people who are willing to step outside of their comfort zones to do something extraordinary. And a city that can both like support and maybe need something like this.
Last year, we donated 1,900 hours to 48 different events across Colorado, which was very exciting. But on top of that, we use those events and those volunteer hours to raise money. And all of that money that we do raise helps sustain ourselves as an organization, but the vast majority of it goes into our Cheer for Life fund. In the first 6 years, we've raised and donated more than $116,000 for our local nonprofits.
I have seen the impact firsthand, outside of even the financial pieces, that we have created in the LGBTQ community.
We have been at Denver Pride every year since we actually started. And this year we will again be on the main stage on Sunday, so we're very excited about that. We will also be walking in the parade. We have close to 40 volunteers this year that will be actively participating in this. This is the first year ever that we're going to max out the stage count. We actually have more volunteers than we can legally put onto that stage. So expect a lot of exciting things. So we host boot camps, open stunt clinics, and tryouts every single year. Or we have community volunteer roles for those of us that aren't ready to keep doing the squatting and the jumping and the stunting. We welcome everybody and we start from the beginning. So even if you just want to see what it's like, come join us. We're glad to teach you. And even if you don't stay for the team, maybe you walk away with a lot of new friends.
I think what I'm most excited about is just bigger, bolder, more, being truer to our name of Cheer Colorado than ever before by expanding beyond the Denver Boulder area. And I can't wait to see what 2025 through 20 million brings, because we're not going anywhere.
Stay elevated by subscribing to the city's YouTube page for these stories and more. And stay tuned to our social media channels for more content. Don't miss our new episodes of Elevating Denver, premiering each month. Thanks for watching, Denver.